Well, greetings, world, and greetings, Seven Spot. Welcome to our show today, our weekend Blat number 7. And I got to tell you, we're up to some old tricks and some new tricks, because today we're visiting the idea of building a 7, and we've got our featured guest today, who is, I'm going to put someone who's breathing heavily on mute.
Not that kind of show.
Yeah, right. And I'm going to bring Tony into the show just to say hi. Tony, welcome to the show.
Everyone.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, thank you, Jim.
Everybody, give a big hand for Tony T. That T-double-E. So there we go. Thanks for joining us today.
Whoever's watching.
Yeah, and joining us today is my famous co-host, John Minion. I'm going to see if I can drag him in here too. Hey, John, broadcasting from the cave. How you doing?
Yeah. Famous is more infamous, isn't it?
Round of look at that. So nice to have you with us, John. How do you like the canned applause, guys? Joining us today, I guess, also co-host is a regular guest, Dave Lascelle. Thank you so much, Dave. Awesome having you with us. And
barely made it.
Hi, Dave.
Al G from all the way from Victoria, British Columbia. Thank you for joining us today.
Cue the canned laughter.
Yeah, you bet. And our two featured guests after we're done with Tony, we've got Paul Wild. Say hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi. Greetings and great to have you with us. And joining us as well from somewhere, well, no longer from Yorkshire, but Craig Hutchinson. This is such
I am here. Yeah. That looked well rehearsed, that did.
Well done.
Well, greetings, world, and greetings, Seven Spot. Studio. Why don't we bring in Simon Pike? Come on, mini kit boys. Simon, so great to have you with us, because we want to let you know that you can run, but you cannot hide. You are going to be a featured guest either, somewhere, sometime. There you go. So now I'm going to bring in our first guest of the day, Tony T. And we've got a presentation. It's a bit different. Because the show is called My Favorite Floor Mat, which is a little bit different from for the idea of building a 7. So why don't we just bring in our slideshow, and you can tell us a bit about what you are doing. Is that okay with you?
Of course it is. Yeah. Look forward to
My favorite floor mat. Now we'll get to the meat of that's on the bone, but tell us how long. I'm always interested to find out first. Where's the why part? Why did you decide you were going to build a 7?
Well, that's a good question. It stems from a conversation I had with my wife. I wanted something to do, basically, to keep me busy, and I had the itch to build something or to start a hobby like motorbikes or a classic car, and then. Got chatting to some few people in at work, and kit car subject came up, and he said, well, you've got the skills, put them to good use, and start a car from scratch.
Yeah. Now this picture that we're looking at right now, is this where you're at this particular stage, or where are you with your 7?
Well, that is like the middle house that I occupied whilst I was doing this build. I built the chassis in this garage, and here I had it as a rolling chassis, and the cage was almost finished, and the bodywork was just being like dry fitted at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
And
And what engine did you go with?
Well, initially I'm using the Donor engine, which is a Pinto, a Ford Sierra Pinto engine, which I
Type 9.
inherited, picked up with the chassis.
Type 9 box.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and the IRS from the same car on the rear, and the front hubs and steering components for the front, brakes, handbrake lever, and all the large parts, including the steering column as well, and switchgear.
Now, I saw in one of your a video that you had done that you were going to go to a Duratec.
Yes, that's the plan.
Now,
once it's road legal.
Does that fit your bell housing?
It doesn't. Not on the Type 9. There's a off the shelf alley cast bell housing to marry the two up. So
Like
that's all been
because
like an adapter plate. Yeah.
It's an actual bell housing. It's a cast part. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I say it is that I run a Z-Tech in mine, and I think the Z-Tech bolts right onto your bell housing for the 2000 Pinto motor.
Yes, I understand that would work. Yeah, because they're quite close together. The Z-Techs and the Pintos, they were quite close.
Yeah.
In the timeline of manufacturer, they were like one after the other, weren't they?
Yeah. More power in the Duratec though, I think. Yeah. Nice.
That'll be pushing probably 150. With in standard sort of configuration, but with throttle bodies, the numbers can pretty much double up to about 200, I reckon, before you play with internals and maps and all that sort of thing.
And the gearbox would be good for that, and the rear diff as well. So you won't have a problem with that power.
Yeah.
No, I hope not to. I'm not looking for big numbers anyway. I mean, if it's between 150 and 2, then I'm more than happy.
Enough. Yeah, more than enough in a lightweight 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tossed this picture in here, Tony, and I just wanted to get your comments on it because I've had numerous people who are busy looking for a chassis to build on. And I'm wondering if you would comment on the difficulty involved with building or welding up the chassis. Because I've heard conflicting reports. Some people say they're scared of getting in and doing the welding bit, and others say dive into it because it's probably the least difficult part of the build process.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I mean, I've been in the industry for 30 plus years, and I can pretty much weld with my eyes shut. But if you're going into it as a novice, then I would probably get yourself some 1-inch box section and just practice all the joints that you would expect to find in the chassis, particularly the sharp angled ones. You need a lot of wire stick out and a bit more higher amperage to bridge the gap before the wire reaches the workpiece to do its thing.
Yeah.
But apart from that, the experience I've got, it wasn't tested at all, really. The difficulty for me was just getting all the touch points right and all the profiles of the tubes.
Oh yeah.
To land all the way around when it's a compound shape or a pointed angle.
Yeah.
You want the tubes to be touching all the way around to get secure.
And yours is a Haynes Roadster, and we've got a couple of McSorley guys here. Do you mind if I ask you to comment? Did you look at the McSorley build before you elected to do the Haynes, or how did you come to go with the Haynes?
I think the book came into my possession very, very early on, and I just flicked through it and I said, I can do that, I can get help with this, I can get help with that, and the people around me at work or friends from other places can help me out, and it just all seemed to click into place. The trades and the people that you might want to get to know, were there in place, and it just felt natural.
I was going to say the McSorley chassis is not particularly well known in the UK, as far as I know. I don't think I've heard of it. I haven't heard of it myself, to be honest.
Oh,
really?
It's McSorley, did you say?
Yeah, Jim McSorley.
Yeah. I've never come across it, to be perfectly honest.
Well, now we have to end the stream because you've got two very unhappy North American builders.
No. Well, that makes us more exclusive, you see.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
The price is doubled on a McSorley now.
Yeah. Now, what are we
Very
looking at?
easily.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, that was when obviously I took it off that toolbox and turned it over to do the floor sheets and the anchorages for the roll cage and the eventually what will be the spare wheel carrier.
Oh yeah.
Those
And
3 holes.
What are we using for the floor pan?
I used 16 gauge cold rolled steel, the steel that's shiny, not the blue black stuff with mill scale all over it.
Yeah.
So it was nice and clean and fresh and easy to prep for welding.
Mm-hmm.
And have you painted the chassis or galvanized or?
I had it powder coated.
Powder coated, yeah.
Yes, which is like an undercoat galvanizing powder, and then there was a top coat of the color of choice, which in my case was like an anthracite grey or a gunmetal grey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've got plain black on mine, but it is powder coated. I do love it. I mean, it keeps it. I mean, it is what it is. It keeps it nice and dry.
I plan to do a like a monochrome sort of color scheme, so blacks, whites.
Oh yeah.
With one like feature color, which would be orange in my case.
Cool.
Yeah.
And where are we at with this part?
Right. Yeah. The cage is like, I think either welded together or tacked together. My friend came round and just put some filler in the bends because they were just a little bit wobbly, hence the primer on the corners there, and test fit in the gearbox.
And of course, and you've got a full cage there. Is it going to be track used?
Probably. I'll probably hit a track maybe once in my ownership. I'm not a big like track focused driver, but I mean, if I get the opportunity, I'd like to take it over to the Nürburgring if I can.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
as like
if you're only going to do it once, you're going to do it big.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I like the bowls you've got here, nice and big fat bowls. I love that.
Almost Caterham style.
Yes.
Caterham have them quite high up and quite large. We've got Dominators on ours. You can't see anything in the dark.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, that was my second choice of headlight. I mean, I do plan to change them at some point, whether I go smaller or I go LED. I'm not too sure.
I'm definitely going over to a bike LED. It's just like, I mean, you just guess it's guesswork in the dark.
Yeah, and I think for the IVA as well, you still can't use LED headlights, as far as I'm aware.
No. Yeah, that's my understanding. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting close to it, and I'm trying to get some information ahead of time to make sure that I've hit those points correctly.
Where did you get the plans for? Because obviously you said you built that yourself. Did you fashion it after an MK Indy, or it kind of looks that way?
I spoke to a chap. I think he's on Facebook. He's called the tube man or the tube bender man, and I spoke to him and got him to send me some like ideas for the main hoops.
Yeah.
And I just tweaked them for the width and height and got those dialed in. And then the two straight bits were just, stock tube, T45 seamless CDS tube. And the two top bits, I ended up doing twice. Those ones are the first attempt to getting the angle right, but they were just too close to a person wearing a crash helmet. So I did those again. And it's pretty much just something out of my head. And
I was going to say because you've got those the two bars going from the front to the back. They're kind of like rising up towards the back, which will give you a lot more headroom, as you say. When you've got a helmet on, very very important. You don't want to be touching the You don't want to be touching
The
the
roll
roll
bar.
bar with your head.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, anybody over 6 foot there might be a questionable space, but me at 5'8", 5'9", there's plenty of room to wear a lid under that.
Mm-hmm. And you test fit your Pinto in there early on, I see.
Yes, it's been in and out of that chassis a few times now.
Yeah.
That looks like it's been rebuilt or had some work done on it. I mean, it's obviously been painted and.
Yes. I had to take the head off because there was a head gasket problem with some oil bypass early on, so I did that, and took the opportunity to do exactly that. Just clean it up and give it a lick of paint, and had the rocker cover powder coated and the lid gearbox. That was done at the same time, in a Ford, familiar blue color.
Yeah,
absolutely. Looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple.
This is part of the journey, isn't it, Tony? Tell me about what you've got there.
Yes, that is the very first part I bought towards, the project, and I found these on eBay and got them remanufactured, stripped them down and cleaned them, and got them re-zinc passivated, and they're still residing in the box somewhere, waiting to come out and have their day.
Have their day, as you say. Yeah.
What I like is the fact that you managed to convince your wife it'd be okay to put them out on the kitchen counter.
Well, yeah. Well, they're that clean. You could eat off of them at that point.
That was just after you'd taken them out of the dishwasher, was it?
Yeah.
Got a couple of shots here. Now, you've obviously did you test fit the side panels on there? Or is this further down the build and you're now just putting the panels on?
I took the gamble and just measured them and then sent my drawings to a manufacturer or a sheet metal business and pulled the trigger on them, and I've yet to test the real panels. This is like a little practice panel.
Okay.
To get the holes and all the holes in the right place for the front suspension and the steering arm and the steering rack and the shock absorber, to get them in the right place so that when I go to cut the holes, I know they're going to be in the right place. They're going to be there the first time,
The same. Yeah, same. You're going to need holes for the roll cage there as well. Will you be bonding those on or just riveting?
I plan to do both, really. I'm going to use some, some body panel joining compound, some polyurethane, two-part stuff.
Yeah.
Joining us today from, I believe it's from our 7-Spot YouTube channel is Ocho. Thank you for being with us today.
Hello,
Evening,
Ocho. Evening.
We greeted Ocho. You have a tidy little shed, but it doesn't look like you've got an awful lot of room to maneuver in there.
No, you got the remnants of my build table up against the wall there, and this garage was a standard size single garage, about 8 foot wide, something like that, and about 19 feet long.
You got a nice little workshop set up at the back though, on the side there with all your tools and stuff. I like that.
We are so spoiled in North America because I was building in what I thought was a very tight space, but I had gobs of room for stacking shelves and all kinds of things. And I just like, my hat goes off to you guys finding the space and the time to work in that kind of space. You must have had to take your roller and rolled it in and out of the shed about 100 times to get stuff done.
I did, yeah. I mean, it's if you need to get it out, just to get it out and see it in a larger space, just to get your eye in, and the proportions of the build. When you're like inches away from it and you can't see the whole profile, it's very hard to get the whole thing in one look.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on to the Pinto. Looks like Ocho's got another thing to say here. Thanks, guys. Nice car you have there. Thank you, Ocho.
Well, thank you, Ocho.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ocho.
I like what you've done on the intakes there with the actual
Trumpets.
intakes. The trumpet, that's what I meant, the trumpets, yeah, because getting the trumpet height is quite important. And you can, a car on trumpets, if it goes by, you can tell whether it's not on the right height trumpets. But you've gone for the Piper Cross. That's a Piper Cross back plate, and then you've got a Piper Cross filter over the top, yeah?
Yes, it's exactly right, yes. There's about, I don't know, inch and a half clearance above those trumpets inside the filter, so there's enough room to get the ram effect
exactly,
into those in trumpets.
Because people go with too shorter, because the Piper Cross comes in several different heights, and if you go for a too shorter one, you don't get that clearance. You may as well not bother.
Yeah. But I will say that if you make your own back plate, don't make the mistake I did, and that's block that hole on each carburetor where you got that air bypass. Because if you block that, they don't rev out; they just bog down. And I found that out the hard way because I blocked those holes because I didn't actually make the hole in the back plate and wondered why.
Right,
it wouldn't rev out. So yeah. That took a weekend's worth of head scratching.
I was going to say, you sat there thinking why, and then you have to think about it, and then it was most of the time. If you think about it, it will suddenly dawn on you why it's not revving out.
Yeah. Because those big holes, they just go straight over the top of I think it's the fuel bowl or the float chamber, just to keep that fuel bowl connected to atmosphere. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Did you do a rebuild on the transmission as well?
No, that's pretty much how it comes, just basically cleaned up. Yeah.
Well, it does look nice and clean.
I've got a second Type 9 with a Duratec bell housing waiting to come out of retirement.
You ready to go with the Duratec swap as soon as you got your IVA then, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah. I've got the Duratec with a front wheel drive sump arrangement. It's baffled. I've got the throttle bodies from a GXR 12. Yeah, some sort of motorbike, GXR 1200 or something. Waiting in the wings.
Yeah, on bike carbs you get a lot more pickup, but you also get better fuel economy as well. And mainly, most of the time you get more power as well when you switch to bike carbs, depending on how you set it up, obviously.
Yes.
They will need rejetting, clearly.
Well, they're not really carbs. They're throttle bodies. There'll be fuel injectors ahead of them.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Handle the air.
So the carbs that you've just purchased or rebuilt here are just going to get put up on the shelf.
And
then okay. And what are you doing for fuel management for the bike carbs?
It'll just be like a usual pressurized fuel system. There'll be an injector pump. There'll be a swirl pot. There'll be a return back to the tanks that will be enclosed.
Mm-hmm.
So what unused fuel doesn't get used will be returned back to the tank.
Cool.
But that's something that I've yet to really dabble in is the fuel delivery of the Duratec.
Yeah. Any idea what ECU you're going to be running on it?
With budget allows, I'm looking at the Omex 600 ECU, which is a full sequential mappable ECU.
Good choice, and that'll do the secondary injectors as well.
If I needed them, yeah. And I think you can put what do you call it, flat shifting stuff on it as well.
Oh yeah,
flat shifting, yeah.
So Simon is adding, make sure that you have a good return spring on the butterfly, otherwise you get overrun.
With Breza, it's the famous Simon Pike.
The very, very famous Simon Pike.
Yeah.
So that'll be on the linkage, adding a different spring to the throttle body linkage that you're going to put on there instead of just because the return springs on most of the bikes are pretty strong,
quite lazy,
but probably to the hand they're strong, but I guess with a foot pedal and running through all the other ways it's going to be cable actuated. There's throttle bodies
I
are
had to
still,
put a
like,
stronger
prohibitively
spring on
expensive.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do we got happening there? Looks like you're playing.
Dashboard?
Yes, dashboard, a laminated ply
Mm-hmm.
dashboard, which was CNC routed
Yeah.
at my place of work in the
wow.
wood shop. Yeah.
Very cool. And
So
moving
just
right
two
along.
pieces of 18 mil ply
Yeah.
laminated together to form the big radius at the bottom edge.
Which you need for IVA, obviously. Yeah.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Tell us what we've
And
got
yes,
going on there.
Yeah, this is like another brain fart of mine for the dashboard.
I like it.
This is one of the
Yeah.
ones that didn't quite make it into the final.
Oh yeah, it is there. It's being used. It's just that. I mean, if I had the time to do it again, I'd probably do some changes. But when you make a mold to make a glass fiber part or a carbon fiber part, it's you're committed to that shape and dimensions of the part. So I had to make it work. But
I like the clocks as well. Where do you get the clocks from?
They're VDO vision clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like a standalone sort of analog style clock set that you can get from VDO, and I picked them up from, I think it was Merlin Motorsport.
Okay, they do look nice.
They had a January sale. Yeah.
Is that wet lay in the molds, or did you? Is it wet lay up in the mold, Tony? For that?
Yes.
With chop strand, yeah.
And you made your own. You made your own plug for this?
Yeah, I made my own plug first, just an MDF plug, and got it polyurethaned and sealed for the treatment of the glass fibering of the mold.
Yeah.
And then once I got the mold, I just laid it up normally as glass fiber, but using chopped up carbon fiber.
Has a nice look.
Achieve this like forged carbon effect.
Yeah.
So is that just like sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, which is like a carbon fiber effect that mainstream manufacturers are trying to emulate back then, which was like 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
So did you just pile it in there, mix it with the resin first, and then put a single sheet? Like how you only got like probably 1 or 2 more layers in there behind it?
Was this a layup or was it a resin extraction process?
It was a layup. Yeah, it was a cold layup. Just put the like a layer of resin in, put the chopped strands in, pushed them about to where you'd like them. Yeah, and then put a piece of carbon fiber on the back of that.
It looks great.
A wet lay carbon.
Yeah, and then you pray there's no bubbles.
Yes. I mean that finish is just straight out the mold, which I liked. I didn't want a gloss finish. I didn't want a matte finish. It's just like a semi.
Well, you wouldn't want that reflecting back in your eyes when you're driving down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. Now we come to the exciting part. My favorite floor mat.
Of course.
Tell us about that.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's probably the reason why I'm here, isn't it? I approached Haynes to get permission to use their sort of their trademark for the Haynes Roadster to get some floor mats embroidered for the build, and they were more than happy to let me use the trademark. And in the next paragraph, they said, "Can we pass your details to the editor, and you'd send some people out to come and see the build and make a feature for their website." Which
and that was going to be my next statement. Is included, folks, in the description will be a link to the Haynes site, so you can take in all of the lovely details about Tony's build over on the Haynes site.
So can you order those mats then, or is that a complete one-off? And
it's a complete one-off. Yeah, I just approached a car mat manufacturer, and they said that we can do all car makers logos and trademarks, but Haynes Roadster they'd never come across before. But
okay,
they'll do it as long as they've got written permission. So
yeah, well, you'll have to we'll have to dig out a link for the mat manufacturer there, because I've not come across people that can do mats for like an MK, or I'm sure MK can obviously do them.
Well, it's not so much the making of the mats, but it's the embroidered stitchery that's going to, that's the computer work that's. I don't even want to ask how much it costs. Must have been a little bit on the pricey side.
Well, I'm waiting to find out. I mean, as soon as I'm ready to get some mats made, I'll soon tell you. Yeah.
As you say, the main thing is getting permission from. I wouldn't just go out and make myself an MK mat or ask somebody to do it, because you need permission from the manufacturer to use their logo.
Well, I think it's also a matter of negotiating the process inside the house. So what you do is you go ahead and do the mock-up and get all the approval from all the manufacturers, and then you tell the wife.
I was going to say, and the missus.
Yeah. And going back to the mats, the company that I've approached, the name just evades me at the moment. It might come back to me. All they want is pretty much just a cardboard template of the area you want to cover, and you go to their website, choose the matting material and the color of the bonding on the edge, and if there's any embroidery involved, they can accommodate that as well.
They must have some serious sewing machines, because to get through that thickness.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be a serious industrial embroidery machine, which would be
exactly. It's not something you can knock up. Not something you can knock up on a Singer sewing machine at home.
No.
Now I'm going to add to our ever-growing audience that what we're doing here with Tony is not a walk around, because that'll be coming soon. But Tony has also agreed to work with us on a future webinar, because we had what I consider a great response to our first webinar. The people who joined us were extremely enthusiastic about the process, and being that it was a North American show, because Dave was included, and of course he's in Nashville, Tennessee, and Al's in British Columbia. Well, we're basically 8 hours away from you. So we're looking forward to creating a webinar that is more time focused on the UK. So I'm going to say thank you for doing that, and we'll work with you to plot and scheme on as to what your focus will be. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
That's absolutely.
I was going to say, and on the webinar, it got a decent amount of views, but it was the follow-up comments from people afterwards as well.
Well, maybe Dave, can you chime in here and just talk a little bit about that? Because you've been more or less, you've been following it from a personal point of view, because you've got your own personal interest. But boy, you've been handling a lot of the communication back and forth on that.
Oh, I mean, I like to answer questions. So anybody that's got them, we'll try to find out where the answer is.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot, but there are things that are particular to me. When we were, especially with Lost 13 millimeter, Sean, I think. We have some things in common with our things in common with our builds, because we're both using K series Honda motors, which is like, it's kind of not the new thing, but there's a lot of K swap things here, and it's the K swap is so prevalent in the States into other vehicles. So that's kind of where I am. Like, I have a shift linkage coming today, and got my transmission. I'm going to go pick up another transmission, but
how exciting is that?
I'm going to talk to Al about drive shafts in the next couple of weeks to see if I can get some of those things figured out. And Tony, I have a question for you about how you're doing your mounts. Like, it looked like you had solid motor mounts, but possibly a rubber mounted transmission. How are you deciding those?
Pretty much. I mean, the actual manufacturer, which is Ford, they had a mount pretty much perfect for the actual scenario, you find yourself just putting the transmission through an 8-inch tunnel, which was perfect. Just have 2 little ears of steel plate coming in from the insides, which picked up the engine mount, the transmission mount at the back. Yeah, and then the rest is just all supported by the engine and the diff at the back. It's pretty much just hanging in between both ends, just by 2, 8mm bolts. That's all that's pretty much supporting the tail of the transmission on this chassis.
So like the rotation of the driveline is like about the transmission mount. So there's no flex in the engine, but then you have a little bit built into your diff. Rubber mounted diff.
The diff's solid mounted as well. To be perfectly honest, it's on 2 brackets on the back that holds it to the frame.
Yeah,
and
of course.
And obviously you've got the UJs taken up a little bit in the diff, in the pop shaft. Sorry, and and the engine's got 2 big polyurethane hockey puck style engine mounts.
Yeah.
So it is like polybushed engine mount.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'll be able to fill everything through that frame once it's running.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How does that compare to yours, Al? Are you with us, Al?
Oh, he's muted.
He's been muted. We'll unmute you. 1 sec.
Or he can't hear.
Yeah,
I'll type it in the comments.
There. Oh, but he's. I don't know why. I can't unmute you, Al. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to unmute you at this end. I think it's at your end that you're muted. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Dave. If you can hear us, I'm going to put it.
I don't think Al's got any sound. Al's got no sound.
I'm sorry, Al. We've lost you, but we were going to ask how was your engine mounted? If you can hear us, go ahead and respond. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get that.
Oh, what a shame.
So yeah, it is a shame. But so you're now, you say, going on 10 plus years on your build. And do you have a time schedule for your expected completion date? Or? Yeah,
I do. I mean, realistically, I'm aiming for around middle of the year.
Oh wow! Yeah, you're really coming along then. That's great. Yeah, really fabulous.
I've got like a window to get my bodywork ready to be painted, so I've got to aim for that, so that it can be going in when there's a quiet time at this paint shop. So once it's there, I'll be working on the electrics. So the body's off, the electrics can go in, and then when the body arrives, I can just put it all on and do all the last little bits that takes 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Are you going with a metal bonnet as well, or fiberglass?
It's a fiberglass on mine. Yeah.
Fiberglass bonnet. Yeah. With obviously fiberglass wings.
Fiberglass scuttle, nose, and it's just aluminium side pieces for the upright sides of the chassis.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Tony, I'm going to say thanks so much for being with us today, and I cannot wait to plot and scheme with you about the webinar. So I'm just going to say thank you once again for being with us.
Thank you.
It was
it's been a pleasure.
Great pleasure.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
And Al's got something.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Craig has got something he's putting there. Exit studio and re-sign back in. This is for Al.
Yeah, give it a go, Al. Yeah.
There you go.
It's just like Zoom school.
Here I thought we had something intelligent to say. There we go.
Here we are.
Well, while we're at it, why don't we bring in our next presenter?
Hello, people.
Paul Wild. Thank you so much. How you doing?
Sound.
You sound great. And I'm going to, the only way I can do this is I'm going to drag in Craig. Craig is your cohort, partner in crime. Welcome, Craig.
Hello, how are you all?
Doing great. But I'm going to bring back Paul into the picture just simply because our next presentation. And God, do we have you, Al?
My name's John.
Hello, Al. Do we have you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. It's so
back,
great
Al's
to have.
back.
I'm going to put you back in, Al. The question was, yay! The question was, how do you have your engine mounted in your 422?
I've got a. Gosh, how can I put this? It's mounted into a wedge, so that when the engine drops down, it can't move sideways. It's a couple of just aftermarket engine mounts, rubber engine mounts,
Okay.
and then custom fabricated to meet the engine. So, yeah, nothing spectacular, but there's no movement.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, Al.
I thought I was there.
Moving right along. How's the show prep today, guys? So we've got something to add here. Now, I've titled this the Yam Yam Files, but I've been corrected. Craig, what is the name of the show that you guys are going to be producing for us?
It's going to be called Old Gits Let Loose.
Old Gits Let Loose. Cool. And of course, it's got something to do with this.
Yeah, Paul,
there's a bit. Go on.
Paul, you might want to move your mic away from your nose a bit. We can hear you breathing.
It might not be. It may not. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we are.
We know it's alive.
Yeah, I thought it was me. So it's everything about mini kits, and I've been after you guys for a while because I've just all of a sudden been taken on this obsession about body molds and fabulous, fantastic plastic. And
what magazines are you reading?
The kind that I keep on the top shelf in the dark closet of our bedroom.
I'll send you some if you're interested.
Yeah, there we go. But tell us,
want to get the internet, lads? You don't need no magazines anymore.
So what is mini kits about, guys?
Over to you, Paul.
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah.
Well, it's just exactly what it says. Them cars based on minis.
Yeah.
Kit cars based on minis. And there was that many different varieties of them over the years. I mean, from like the first one was about 61, bearing in mind the first mini was 1959.
Yeah.
So there was building onto the minis from day one virtually.
Yeah, I can say not long after they came out.
Yeah. And there's, like I say, there's that many different varieties. And let's face it, the mini should have come out the factory at Longbridge with a spare wheel, a jack, a wheel brace, and a MIG welder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of presentations. Where was this presentation happening?
This was at the NEC, November, just gone.
Mm-hmm.
There was, good crowd, good show, as always.
Yeah, we had a famous presenter there. You were presenting, as well as Craig did a great job, and Craig had a wonderful time exchanging earphones.
Yeah,
You have to bring that up.
Mm.
And Jack Wood from Complete Kit Car Magazine was there as well, also helping.
Yeah.
Jack's a good lad. He's proper light behind us as well, which is an absolute bonus. He's a mini kit owner himself, actually. He owns,
really?
He owns a Midas.
I
think
Mini
some
Midas,
Midas.
I see
he owns a Midas.
the running reports. I see the running reports in the magazine. Yeah,
he does. So he's good, and he never ever misses an opportunity to have a ride in one either. I mean, like Stoneleigh and places. He's always happy to go and jump on one.
Yeah.
There's photos of him on my scooter somewhere, but that he actually made his magazine.
Simon Pike's just put a comment up. Don't forget award-winning stand as well. I don't know if we've got any pictures of that. But talk us through that.
You should have some anyway. Well, we was up for the running on 2 years running, both at the November stands. Obviously, we came second the first time.
Yeah.
And one of our admin who sadly passed away, he told us basically there was one more way to go, and that was next year to pull it off and bring this tinware, and we did.
I thought I told us to go up.
You did.
Oh, okay.
Go home and think about it.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at here? What is this?
I would say they all look very similar. There's a few that shape, but that is actually a scamp, I believe.
Yeah,
Mark III. Yeah, Mark III scamp, I would say. Yeah.
And in the mini kits, are you a group? Are you a club? What is it?
Well, basically, it started off as a Facebook page, and it was just for mini-based cars, and it grew from there. But we got a bit of absolutely everything in there. So we decided to show, and then we become a club-like sort of thing. I mean, it's free to join, and one thing and another, but yeah.
You do quite a bit with sporting. Well. You do quite a bit with Sporting Bear and donations and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, that's Craig's department.
That's mainly me. Yeah, it's I dip my finger in many ponds at the moment. It's charity, different styles of vehicles, mini kits. Having a previous mini kit myself, sort of thing, which was a big bonus. And that's how I met Paul. The current car I've got now is not a mini kit, but there possibly maybe one in the future. As everyone's going through financial problems at the moment because the country is getting more expensive and our wages are not going with it. But no, it's just the charity work comes alongside it. I joined the mini kits, the Sporting Bears, to give people rides around. I'm good friends with Trevor from Northwest Kit Car Club. And
what is Sporting Bears for us North American dullards?
Right. Sporting Bears is basically where people come along and they have something called a cool wall. If you've ever watched Top Gear, they have something called a cool where they have loads of pictures of vehicles. And what you do is it gives you the experience of a lifetime, a car that you've never, ever been in. They'll have a minimum donation on the board and you can donate anything above that. I've got my daughter looking through the window at me pointing, so that's just distracting me. And basically what it is, you donate that money, and what you do is you go out and you actually have a ride in that car for about 10 miles or 20 minutes. And that sponsorship for that vehicle, if it's a 4-seater, you actually spread that between all 4 of you. So you're not actually paying that per person. You're paying just for the vehicle.
Yeah.
And all the people who donate their vehicles pay for their own petrol, their own hotels. They pay for everything. And they put nothing in their own pocket. It goes to kids' charities.
Oh, kids' charities. That was the next question. What charities do you sponsor?
The amount they raise is phenomenal. Was it did I see £250,000 in a year, or was that year to date? Was that year to date?
No, that was something else, which we did when they did the NEC. But no, they've 3.33 million was the last one.
Year to date.
And the patron is Mike Brewer from Wheeler Dealers.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, moving on from the Scamp.
That is my favourite. That one, the 6-wheeled Safari.
Is that what it's called? The 6-wheeled Safari?
It's Stimson Safari 6, but yeah.
Not the Safari.
It is very, very cool. And who might be the owner of that little precious little baby?
That would be one of mine.
Yeah.
I must confess.
You say one of yours. How many have you got now?
That I'm willing to show. what that I'm willing to show, I got 3, but I actually own about 8 different ones.
As I said, less fingers and toes.
You've got 8. Do you have a big shed, or do you rent a lot of space, or how does that work?
I have them scattered around the place a lot. To be fair, I rent 2 40-foot containers. So I mean, the majority of them in there.
Yeah.
So if you scattered them around so your missus can't find them.
No, she don't mind now. Since I sold the Scorcher and she realised how much they were.
Yeah.
She's been all right with them.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell her how much I paid for them, because if anything happens to me, I'll try and sell them for the price I've told her I've paid for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is a lot less.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that is the coolest thing. Now, I think I've asked you this before, but it makes sense. It's front wheel drive. The 4 wheels at the back are just trailers. Is that right?
Yep, they are. Yeah. There's
cool.
a bit of a story to this one, to be fair with you, because I was chasing this car up for a good 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
They offered it me at a silly price, and it was a complete wreck. And it was way too dear. Anyway, the people who owned it were moving to America. And 7 years later, they sent me an email saying, are you still interested in this Safari 6? And I said, well, yeah, but not at the price you're asking for.
Price. Yeah.
And basically, they said, come and fetch it. You can have it for £500. So I put the trailer on the back.
You were out there in the afternoon.
Yep. Yeah. And when I got there, I got talking to the guy who owned it. And it actually turned out to be Lisa Stansfield's dad, the singer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember her.
Yeah, well, I had that off her dad.
At the time, Paula tried to be a backing singer.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd have backed into her. Sorry, did I say that wrong? Oops.
And am I right in thinking as well? I might be wrong, but wasn't there a series on BBC or ITV, Challenge Annika? And then didn't they use one of Barry Stimpson's car? It may well have been the Safari 6-wheeler. I've got it in the back of my head.
No.
No? Am I getting confused?
No. Totally confused. That was a
beach buggy.
Was it a beach buggy?
I'm trying to think what it was.
Yeah, it was beach buggy.
Yeah. I want to think who made it.
I don't think it was a 6-wheeler either, was it? It was just a...
No.
Normal
yeah, it was, yeah.
So this
I'm sure it was one of Jeff. I'm sure it was one of Jeff Jago's. Could be wrong.
Message from Simon Pike there. Look, he's only keeping it so he can hand it on to me.
Yeah,
but Simon Pike doesn't keep stuff that long. He's always in. Is it a keeper? But no, he always sells them, like that one now.
Oh, that's a keeper. That is. Tell us what we're looking at, though. I mean,
This
is
early Marcos.
Early mini doors on that as well because of the outside hinges.
I just am. I am head over heels on that. About that. That's fabulous.
The hinges are mini. The rest of it isn't.
Yeah.
They're separate doors. But
I have made an offer to him. I said I'd have it off him, but would he accept milk vouchers?
And of course, this is the famous Simon Pike. And what can I say? You'll be hunting him down.
That's running a 1600 Vauxhall engine as well, isn't he?
Oh, is that right?
Really?
Yeah. Running, and I believe it's running an F13 gearbox, which is probably the better one to go for.
Yeah.
So it's got it's a usable car. You could happily go down the motorway in that quite easily at, I don't know, 100 mile an hour, and it's a takey.
Is that all true, Simon? And we know you're watching.
I hope he's watching.
Yeah.
He's gone now.
He's gone?
I believe the engine's a 16 SV in it.
Yeah.
By the look of it.
Very nice.
Running a black cap as well, if I remember right, seeing the photos, which will let it rev out.
Yeah.
Wow. Such a beast. Lovely.
Nice car, isn't he?
Tell us about a space shuttle. That's no longer in the UK, is it?
No, that one's gone. But I remember a couple of our members of our club have actually got one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Hope they've got
hustlers, mate.
Hope they've got air conditioning. It's the Hustler, isn't it? They better have
Yeah,
air
yeah.
conditioning.
They got big doors, windows, so they can open them. I used to have one. I used to have a 4-wheel one, and they're absolutely roasting, even with the doors open. Absolutely roasting, like a greenhouse on wheels.
Yeah.
Made again designed by William Towns, Austin Martin fame.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there was a lot of people, a lot of famous designers back in the 60s, 70s that were designing this stuff all around minis and that. I mean, it's like Jeff Ogle with the Ogle Designs. The Ogle Design team is the people who bought you the Bond Bug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
love the Bond Bug.
Yeah. Well, they bought you the Bond Bug. The Reliant Scimitar. Yeah. And also the Rally Chopper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do remember the Bond Bug you could drive at 16 in the UK.
You
Whereas
could,
a car, because it was classified as a bike, wasn't it? A motorbike.
Yeah.
Well, three-wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You took the reverse gear out, didn't you? Apparently.
Yeah.
So they couldn't reverse. If they didn't reverse, you could drive it on a bike license in the UK.
You're right. Yeah.
Now, what's that?
Oh, that's one of mine as well. Might just say stripped down there. Stimson Minibug, 1972 Mark II.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
It's a bit of an handful, that one is. It's running the 1380, 1.75 carb, turbo gearbox.
Oh, my.
It accelerates up like a motorbike due to its weight.
Well, there's no weight in it, is there?
No, definitely not. Definitely
Apparently not much safety gear.
No. If you can imagine looking at that car, where the black line is, the lip round it.
Yeah.
That is where the framework ends.
Oh.
Wow.
So if that goes over, I don't really want to be held in it, which is why me seatbelts, I'm like there for show.
Yeah.
I'll put them on, but they're not bolted. Don't tell PC Plod that.
And who's the driver that we've got in this one?
That is actually the Stig, the mid Stig. That was at Stoneleigh some years back, that was. But yeah, you can just see how small I am, really, because he's not a big guy.
No. And his
they are quite turning.
His head's above that rear bar as well, isn't it? But that wasn't a roll hoop, though, was it? Was that more?
No, that's just cosmetic. Yeah, it's just cosmetic.
Yeah.
Is that a single seater?
Now it's a twin-seater. But it is really narrow. Really, really narrow.
Wow, it looks like it, yeah.
They did a race version of it, and the race version, they opened the cockpit up by, I think it was 2 inches.
Yeah.
But the race version is a lot better, a lot more comfortable to sit in. Yeah, that's mine as well. That was a photo shoot for Complete Kit Car.
Kit Car, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the wheels.
Yeah, that was mine as well.
This is one of my favourites because it was Steve Hull from Total Kit Car magazine. He said that's the most bonkers design by Mr. Stimpson that he's ever driven or seen. And it literally is. It's like a 3-seater as well, all in a row. Mental. Yeah, absolutely mental.
I'll tell you a story about this because this was mine. I actually rescued this from a museum which was closing, and it was in a really bad state. Anyway, forward couple of months working on it. Me first ever test drive in that, I snapped the front off.
Oh God!
And I adjusted the brakes like I would adjust a mini brake because it's mini front end. It was running drum brakes, and as soon as I hit my front brakes, the back end just come over.
Wow!
And broke the front. I had to repair the front before I sold it. That has recently been sold at Matheson's car auctions, which is bangers and cash, and they actually filmed it being sold.
Oh, okay, I've missed that one. I'll have to look it up.
I don't think it's been on yet, to be fair.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was actually sold at bangers and cash. but that went to a car collector, bought it at the NEC.
Well, I hope it gets used. Yeah.
He sold it. Well, he actually sold it on. He had an heart attack and sold it on. But the guy who owns it now, he's been in contact with me, and he's got every intention of using it.
Brilliant.
Well, that kind of brings us full circle to the reason why you're here. Is we've got a midweek show coming.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was mine.
Something.
Yeah. There we go. Tell us what that is, Craig.
That was a Onyx Bobcat. Created by David Goldlightley, who was a historic hill climber. And I found it at a garage in Grimsby, and it turned out to be the prototype.
Wow.
And it flies.
It does. And I'm not lying. Took it to Stoneleigh, and it was the first time I actually presented it to Paul. And first thing Paul says, "Can I have a drive in it, please?" Oh, in his language. So basically, I handed him the keys. I says, "Well, we're on private land. Off you go." So he did, but he didn't realise the power to weight ratio on that was astonishing, because the way that it was laid out, it had so much grip as well. So off he went. We're on the middle of a horse show field, and there's like a little lip of a side curb of the road. And he hit it, and all four wheels left the ground. And at that point, he gained a pilot's license. As my heart dropped through my arsehole, his face was beaming, and I didn't see that car for 35 minutes because he drove off and started showing around the show.
And did it come back in actually one piece?
It came back in one piece, but he came back with the biggest smile. Put it this way, it's just like I was counting dead flies on his face when he was smiling back at me. But no, it's a lot of fun. If I could track it down, and if I had the money to buy it back, I would.
Somebody out there would know where it is.
So bringing us back to
sale about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Bringing us back to Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be your show premiere. Can you tell us what the show is kind of going to be focused on? Is it Old Gits Let Loose?
Initially, it's a bit of a tight one, so we're going to try and get it out this Wednesday. If not, we'll try and get it out the following Wednesday.
No worries on that.
This is basically talking mini kits. Me, Paul, and the famous Simon Pike being our usual selves. Having a bit of banter and maybe just highlight like what's happened in the news, really.
Perfect.
And how we phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's just that we need to keep it short because Paul needs a piss bag replacing.
Works for all of us, guys.
We're waiting for his nurse to arrive.
As always, we managed to say that we're going to be on for about 15 to 20 minutes, and as always,
oh my God, it's over an hour again.
Yeah, it's over an hour. But I do want to say thanks to literally all of you for pitching in here. I mean, it was great to see another 7 being built, and we're looking forward to working with you, Tony, on a webinar. And what can I say, Dave and John, thanks for pitching in, and Al pitching in to be support cast. I am not an old kid.
He has to have the final word.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're up next, Simon. Thanks so much. And everybody, Craig and Paul, I'm going to say thanks once again for all of us at 7 Spot, whether it's this week or next week or the week after. We're looking forward to Old Gits. Tell us how it works. Old Gits Let Loose. There you go.
Old Gits Let Loose.
All right, guys, thanks again, and we will see you at 7 Spot.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Be seeing you.
Cheers.
Thank you.